Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's stream. We have something special for you today, and I'm really excited about it. I know I'm just crazy, as you know, but today we have a special guest, and my special guest for today is none other than Leloric. So, hey, Leloric, how are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm fine. I'm doing great, thanks. So today we have Leloric on the stream, and for those of you who don't know Leloric, Leloric is one of the guys that goes all in depth on character builds. He is very well known to the forums. That's why I contacted him. He has a crazy Black Panther build. He knows all about Hawkeye, so that's why he's on the stream. So welcome. And I have a few questions for you lined up. So let's first start. My first question is about you. Who are you and where you're from, and when did you start Marvel Heroes?
Um, well, I'm from Idaho. If you know where that is, it's a state in the United States. It's pretty rural.
Potatoes.
Yeah, potatoes. So what everybody knows, potatoes. Yep. Um, so that's where I'm from. I've lived here all my life. I live in Boise now, which is our biggest town. But I grew up in a really small town where it was like over 2 hour drive to get to the closest McDonald's. So it was a long ways from anywhere.
Ouch.
As far as Marvel Heroes, I started at launch. Well, actually pre-launch. I didn't do any beta on this game. Actually, I try to stay away from most betas because I find I tend to burn myself out on the game and wish that there was too many things that were in the game that they pulled. So, but I did start with launch. I bought the Black Panther starter pack and have played mostly him, and then I branched out into a few more that I picked up: Hawkeye, Scarlet Witch, and a few others. So.
That's great. Um, so you have the Black Panther starter pack. So you started about like 5 days into the game or something.
Yeah, well, actually, yeah. I mean, the Ultimate people started first, and I got to start with the starter pack, which is like 3 days or so before the official launch date. So,
Okay, cool. And how do you find the game? What were your ideas at the start? What were your thoughts about it when you started?
I like the game. It's fun. It's similar to a lot of ARPGs, but it's got its own little flavor. I'm not a huge comic book guy, but I do kind of like the Marvel thing, and of course I watch all the movies and that. So, um, but as far as the gameplay, I think it's good. They've had some issues, but I think more than anything, the development staff is really listening to the players' comments and trying to make the game better. And the amount of time and devotion they put into that is really what's kind of made me stick with the game.
Yeah, that's I can totally agree with you there. I like what they do to the game currently and how it is progressing and yeah, it's great stuff. That's why I'm actively streaming, as you might know. So that's cool. What do you think about the Marvel Heroes game? Yes, we talked a little bit about it already, but what do you think for its upcoming futures? What do you think this game is going?
Well, it seems like they've got a lot of irons in the fire right now. I know they've talked about raids coming up. They've talked about um, PvP is going to supposedly be pretty big. I think it's got a chance to be just a really really huge game with a lot of different things for different people. I'm not a huge PvPer, but I know there is. I'm definitely into raiding, so I'm really excited about that. And they seem really intent on getting a lot of heroes out too, which I think could be a great thing because there's a lot of options. I think it also makes it pretty hard to balance it. So sometimes I worry that maybe they're trying to take on too much at once, but I'm also very excited about all of their ideas and all the things they want to do.
Yeah, I totally agree. It cannot get out. Yeah, every time they talk about a new feature, I want it out right the next day, but that's not gonna happen. But yeah, I'm looking forward to everything they bring. Um, we talked about you said PvP is not your thing, but what do you think of the X defense? Have you tested it already?
I played it when it was initially out, back when they were doing whitelisting testing for 1.2, and then I've played it on the more recent stuff too. I like the X defense. I like the group dynamics that it is. I think it's going to set up um, some different things that we haven't seen yet as far as with groups, as far as pairing, some really good single target guys to take the bosses down, as well as some really good trash killers at the same time. You get
Yeah.
a little bit of that in MM but it's all split up. The trash is separate from the bosses. Here, it's right in the middle, which is really kind of fun.
Yeah. Do you think it's gonna be a little bit competitive? Like people are gonna brag about, I got to wave 20 and I got to wave 21. Do you think that that will add something to the game?
Oh, of course. There's always going to be the people that it gives you a benchmark of how far you can get. It sounds like, unfortunately, at 20, it really doesn't get any harder. It just stays the same. So there's no scaling past that, but they may change that too. But it does give a nice little competitive edge there.
Okay. Well, that was on the last build, and I kind of missed that. So Okay, cool. Do you think if we talk a little bit about X defense, because I was thinking about that myself, obviously as well. Current point, it seems to be that you can survive, but then you also need out to damage output. Do you think it's going to be like a role thing that you have like one tank, 3 DPS, and one support, or?
Kinda. I think some of your better things are going to have. Your better groups are probably going to have more some single target, guys to burn down bosses real fast. You're going to have some AoE guys that can either crowd control or burn down all the little trash around. And you might see some tank. They haven't really got a great role for the tank in this game yet, but you might see some in there. It might be more of a DPS fest. What you will see is a lot of heroes that have um, multiplicative damage effects, like Black Panther's Jungle Snare that gives everybody
Yeah,
up to
yeah,
50% extra damage. Those are going to be huge in that kind of content.
yeah. I totally agree. Um, so cool. We are 10 minutes in, by the way, guys. Anyone who just jumped in my stream, I'm talking with Leloric, which was he's a great guy who knows a lot about the game. He started playing just an early launch with the Black Panther pack. He's been really active on the forums, making builds. He likes to theory craft about it. So that's what we're gonna do today. Just asking questions. If you have any questions, please put them in the chat, and I will try to get them through as well.
Hey Mal, just a suggestion. Now that you've revealed the special guest, you might want to put it on your title. It's more intriguing to people, like people at Marvel Base and stuff. Just a suggestion.
Yeah, that's a great idea. I will do that right now.
And if you need a Black Panther to stand next to you to show him off while he's talking, by all means invite.
Cool. So that's set up now. Let's continue. So yeah, we talked a bit about the current state of the game and where we're going. I'm not gonna go into that in depth about it because we could talk for hours, I think. But I want to go to the characters. There's two characters that you focused on. Which one is your favorite? It is Black Panther, right?
Yeah, Black Panther is probably my main. I play Hawkeye a fair bit. So, like I said, Scarlet Witch has been a big push of mine lately. But Black Panther's still always my main. He's the one that gets all my my cosmic rerolls and unstables and that kind of stuff. So basically, everything's focused towards him, priority wise.
Okay, cool. So it was also your first 60 then, I guess.
Yeah, he was my first 60, and still my best geared and most played character by far.
Yeah, cool. Could you tell me a bit about your other roster and how you actually acquired the heroes as well? I think people might want to know that as well.
Panther's the only one that I've bought. Back before they went Eternity Splinters, I picked up. Let me pull up my whole list here. I have Black Widow, Cable, Captain America, Cyclops, Daredevil, Hawkeye, Scarlet Witch, Storm, and Thing, and Colossus. So probably about half the roster there is what I have. All those were found in game. I haven't bought any except for the initial Black Panther purchase. So I haven't bought any with Splinters yet either because I've just kind of been focused on that. So those were ones that I found back when you found the hero itself.
Yeah, when they were actually token drops. Yeah, it was quite quite lucky then. But I also assume that you played quite a bit, I guess.
I did. I played quite a bit. I do play quite a bit. I work out of my home, and also am a stay-at-home dad and doing that both those. So I get a lot of free time and during nap time and stuff. And so yeah, I did play quite a bit.
Yeah, that's great. Are there any specifics that you're saving your splinters up for now?
Actually, I have been dumping all my splinters into my ultimate for Black Panther because the longer time period I get with that, the better it is. It gives a 25% damage buff to everybody around me. So it's a pretty big deal to have that. And with it maxed out at 20, I'll be able to get that for about 3.5 minutes. And of course, with the old Doom medallion and stuff, I could push it up to almost 7 out of the 15 minutes, so half the time. But they're changing the Doom medallion, so that's going to change a little bit. But still, 3.5 minutes of 25% buff is a pretty strong. So that's what I'm pushing for right now with all my splinters.
Cool, that's great. Could I ask you to change to normal? I could actually invite you to my group.
Let the hunt begin.
Yeah, one sec.
And I wanted to start out with Hawkeye today, but since you're so passionate about Black Panther, I think we should first talk about Black Panther then.
We can do either. I'm pretty passionate about Hawkeye too, in his own right, but I am, like I said, a little bit more on the Black Panther is my favorite, so either way. But I'm at normal now.
Cool, I will invite you. So about Black Panther then, how do you think he compares to the other heroes, and how does he stand in the game compared to the other heroes? Where do you think, if you look at a tier, people talk about tiers all the time. Where do you think he stands?
I think he's definitely within the top 10. I think he's probably one of the most overrated. Or underrated? Underrated, yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
Would be the one. He's has extremely high single target DPS, probably one of the best in the game. Plus he has, like I said earlier, the buff that gives everybody around him a big damage boost, and plus he gives, he has a vulnerability where he can, everything he hits with his basic attacks all of a sudden takes more damage. So not only does he do a ton of damage, but he also buffs that of those around him. He's not great for AoE, although he does have some tools. The biggest problem is finding enough points to invest in those and still maintain your single target benefits. But but overall, yeah, I think he's a really strong hero.
Cool. So single target is his specialty, and also, yeah, like you said, the trap that gives. What level do you have to trap at the moment?
With my gear, it's at rank 17, but I have 10 invested into it, so it's not. But even with my stuff and that minor investment in it, it still does 3,400 to 4,300 damage with no crits, and then also I can lay down the jungle snare to boost that even further, and it does pretty decent. It's not a huge AoE, but it does do some pretty decent damage.
Okay, yeah, I did want to clarify that. You were talking about the vibranium trap and then throwing down the snare, correct?
Yeah, throw down the snare and then drop your trap, or either way, because the trap's delayed. But yeah, both those are really good combined. And then there's a unique for Black Panther that's his boots that gives double damage, or up to 100% more damage from your movement powers. And Vibranium Trap has a movement power. So once I get those, which I'm hoping to at some point soon, those will allow me to do quite a bit more AoE damage.
Cool. So you're actively hunting for that then, I guess.
Yeah, that's the big one for me. His unique blades I'm not so excited about, but the boots are really good for that reason alone. It gives him a lot more viable AoE option.
Cool. Where would you hunt that unique? Where do you think is the best place in the game at the moment?
Wherever you can kill a lot of stuff really fast, I think is the best place. Reds, I think, have a better chance. If you can kill reds pretty fast, that's a great place. If you can't kill reds very fast, then drop down to green terminals or go hunt MM. Or I think super